There are a lot of pro-life organizations in America today trying to challenge people to abandon the idea of abortion, get the Supreme Court to overturn Roe versus Wade. And I'm here to tell you, being pro-life is not enough. I'm here with a guest, Ray Comfort. He's the author of, Ray, you've written over 70 books, is that right?
Stop it. It's 90, but what's
90 books! But who's counting? Author of over 90 books. Ray, you really are a legend in your own time. I grew up watching you, love your ministry, love what Living Waters does. And now your new film, 7 Reasons. Ray, wow. This shows us the pro-life issue and shows us that really it's not just enough to be pro-life. Can you, first of all, thank you for joining me. Can you kind of share how this particular film came about, how you decided to make another film on the subject of abortion after doing 180, which was incredibly successful?
Well, I'm not a legend. I'm a legend in my own mind. I like that saying better than a legend. It's crazy. This film was birthed out of necessity. I was absolutely horrified to hear them talk about not only partial birth abortions, but babies being born and not living up to the standard of what people think, just what Hitler did. And it's a horror beyond words. They're not hiding behind the old, it's not a baby, and now it's a baby. We want to kill it for convenience. So I started going to colleges and asking people about the issue of abortion and found that most were very ignorant. They really are brainwashed. If you say to them, it's a woman's right to choose, they say, absolutely. And you can see them change their minds in 60 seconds simply by asking them a few questions. Now, I did that in 180, but this one is different because of the fact that I actually explain what's happening when people change their mind and why it's happening. And so we're very excited about it, to see people change their minds about the issue of abortion and becoming pro-life and saying they're going to vote pro-life. And as you said, that's not enough. It needs the gospel to change the hearts of men and women, because we don't want to make people pro-life and have them end up in hell. We want them to get saved, and as part of the fruit of being a Christian, they don't want to kill babies in the womb.
If you're joining me, my guest is Ray Comfort, CEO of Living Waters. Emil Zwane is now the president of that organization. You guys do an amazing job, and I find myself going, you here are releasing, let's see, you did 180, Evolution versus God, Audacity. Can you name them all off the top of your head right now, or have you done too many, Ray?
I can't see them off the top of my head. I am the CEO, that's Chief Evangelism Officer, and my whole life is to reach the lost. And one of the ways to do it is through film. I've been making films since 1969, I think it was. Well, 1970 was my first movie. It was a surf movie. And it's a wonderful way to reach people with the gospel, but with YouTube, it sets it on steroids. We're just blown away by the amount of people and unsaved people that watch our videos. Just this last week, I've had an atheist write, so I'm an atheist, but I can't stop watching them. And it's opening my heart to faith. And so that is just thrilling. I print stuff that out and just look at it and say, this is just wonderful that we make a movie, put it online, and people watch it. And they watch all our video clips. You know, Eric, I've got a dog, as you may know. And I've noticed something about dogs. They react the same way to most other dogs. I mean, a cat they'll chase, but a dog, that's fascinating. They'll just look at that dog, tail wag or whatever. And we're fascinated by our own species, our own kinds. Human beings fascinate us. We can sit and watch other human beings for hours. In fact, I watch a lot of sport, and I love it when they take the camera and swing it on the crowd, and you see people eating ice creams, people with big ears, little ears, weird hairstyles, tattoos, rings. We're fascinated by our own kind. And that happens when it comes to witnessing one-to-one. When I meet someone who's got pink hair or rather a little strange, even an ordinary person that's kind of colorful in their thoughts, it fascinates us, and that plays into them staying and listening to the gospel. And I find that absolutely thrilling. And you know, something I've learned over the years of witnessing to people, you don't go by looks. Some of the most boring looking people are the most fascinating interviews. And the Bible says man looks on the outward appearance, God looks on the heart. So we're stuck on the outward appearance. We tend to make judgments by what we see, and that's a wrong thing to do. We should make judgments by character and personality. And so I've learned it doesn't matter how boring someone may look. If you say, do you think there's an afterlife? Suddenly all this interesting information comes out that fascinates those that watch these videos.
If you have not had a chance, the brand new movie 7 Reasons is available right now for download. And this is an interesting model, Ray, that you guys are doing. You're taking the movie and you're releasing it for free on Mother's Day, a few months away. So you're letting people get a preview of it now as a way of supporting the ministry, and then you're going to release it for free on Mother's Day. That's really the plan? That's what you guys are doing?
Yeah, and we sure appreciate people supporting the ministry. This is, I had someone put on my YouTube channel, so we have to pay for this? And I said, yeah, but you don't have to pay for over 2,000 videos we put online completely free without advertising. Our channel has had millions of views, but we forsook the advertising because we don't want to put people off. We want them to go straight in without worrying about advertising at the beginning. And by having downloads for a couple of months before we release a film, it gives people the opportunity to support our ministry, to give us the ability to continue to make movies like this and get to see a preview. So we're very, very grateful when people pay for a download, get the stuff that comes with it. There are other things that come with it. And sometimes people leave a gift as they leave, and that's always greatly appreciated.
Hey, my guest is Ray Comfort. His YouTube channel has over 71 million views. He's been in evangelism for a majority of his life now and actually trains others how to do evangelism. Ray, when you're talking to somebody about the need to do the very essential, the very basic work of evangelism, how do you start? How do you go into that? And how do you encourage them? What do you say to them to say, look, this is an essential part of being a Christian?
Yeah, it's what a Christian is. People say, when did you get interested in evangelism? I said, the second I got saved. I began thinking about my mom and dad, my brother and sister, where they're going to spend eternity. I began thinking about my neighbors, my friends, and strangers. So the depth of your love will be the amount of depth that you have in your evangelistic endeavors. If you really care about people, you want to reach them with the gospel. I mean, we've found everlasting life. People are sitting in the shadow of death, and a light has sprung up, and we're just called to take the light of the gospel to them. And so what we've got to do is control our fears, learn to control our fears, because fear is what will paralyze us. And I've met Christians who say, yeah, I went skydiving. Yeah, it was no problem jumping out of a plane, but I'm terrified to give someone a tract. And it's because it's spiritual. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. So anytime I go up to witness to someone, I've got negative thoughts. This guy's going to kill you. This little lady who is actually a Zacchaeus looks to you like a Goliath. And so you have to fight your fears and cast down those imaginations and let love swallow those fears. And that's the key to evangelism. There's another word for evangelism is love. It's love in action. That's all it is.
His new movie is called 7 Reasons. Ray, give us an insight into a couple of the 7 reasons that you actually talk about in the film that from the trailer we see people changing their mind based on a true understanding, a little bit of facts that you present to them, and they change their mind. Can you give us a couple of the insights into what the film covers on those 7 reasons?
Yeah, the 7 reasons are the 7 probably most common reasons people choose abortion. And so what I do is get people to give their reasons, and I counteract it. And I say, give me a reason for abortion. What's the justification? And they'll say, rape. If a woman's raped, that justifies an abortion. You don't want to live with a terrible, terrible memory. I let them talk about it and give their justification. And I say, do you think it's a baby in the womb? They say, yeah. So I say, well, is it okay to kill the baby for the crime of the father? And they go, I say, what would you do if a woman left a little toddler in a car with the windows up on a very hot day? She just walked off. What would you do? And they immediately say, I'd go and smash a window and I'd rescue the child. I say, would you smash the window and stab the child to death? They say, why would I do that? I said, that's what you're doing with abortion. You're killing an innocent child for the crime of the father, of someone else. And so I said, why not let the child have life? Don't kill it and have it adopted. I said, it's a horrible thing to be raped. You have to go through morning sickness. You've got labor pains, but you give birth to another human being. In fact, you and I could have been conceived by rape. We don't know what happened the night of our conception. My dad could have come home drunk and not got permission from his wife, and I was conceived in rape. So why should I be killed for that crime? And so it just makes people think. They see it from another perspective. And when they hear all 7 objections, that just overrules them to a point where they say, no, abortion is wrong. You should never kill a child in a womb. And when I hear people change their minds like that, seriously, I've had trouble with my camera. I feel like just turning it off and hugging the person because I'm so pleased they've been open-hearted. In fact, when I get good footage, it's almost humorous. I'll run from a college with my camera in hand, terrified there's going to be an earthquake in California. The ground will open, I'll drop my camera, and I'll lose the footage. So I just run home with it and download it onto our system. But it's precious to have video of people saying, I am pro a woman's choice, and minutes later they say, no, you should never kill a baby in a womb. That speaks volumes to those who watch it.
As you've had conversations with these individuals, why is it that you feel they haven't already thought of these things? Why is it that they're stuck in the thinking that they have of the day versus really rationalizing this and logically going, wait a minute, is this really a good justification?
Well, we live amongst a stupid generation, a generation that have embraced atheism, which is intellectual suicide. It's willful ignorance. It's insanity. They embrace evolution. Man and apes have a common ancestor when there's no evidence whatsoever. And so it's not surprising. They just say, no, it's a woman's choice, without giving it any depth of thought and asking, is it a baby in the womb? What am I condoning here? And you can really see how crazy human nature is. And it makes me understand why so many, seemingly millions of Germans in the war, Second World War, heard about concentration camps, knew something terrible was going on, but they didn't really think about it, didn't fight against it. In fact, many did and probably died because they did fight against it. But you see their faces as they're taken through these concentration camps after the war, and they're seeing it for the first time. They're horrified as to actually what went on. And so it's good to not only talk about these issues with unsaved people, but to describe what actually happens with an abortion. I say to them, do you know what happens when an abortion takes place? You know, a 22-week-old baby. What happens? How do they kill it? How would you kill a baby, like, you know, if you were given that job? And challenge them like that. Let their conscience speak to them, and then explain to them, well, they crush the head of the baby. Look at the picture I just showed you. They crush the head, rip the arms and legs off, and you can see the conscience doing its work, because written on the work of the heart of every human being is, you shall not kill. We know it's wrong. And so they try and override their conscience. But when you bring up the commandments and the reality of God, conscience is overwhelming and begins to do its duty. And that's our aim, as I said before, not just to convert people into being pro-life and voting so Roe versus Wade is overturned, but to see them saved from death and find everlasting life. That's our agenda as Christians.
Well, you have done a marvelous job. This film packs a powerful punch. Have your Kleenex ready when you download this movie and watch it. It's also a movie that's okay, it's appropriate to watch it as a family. What would you say about that to the families out there that are curious, should I watch this with my children? Could you give them some advice on that, Ray?
Yeah, there's nothing graphic in it, but it does describe abortion, what they actually do, and it's good for kids to hear this and really understand what the issue's about, so they're sitting on the right path, or walking the right path to say, no, abortion is wrong no matter what. So I'd give this a G rating, G for great movie.
That's fantastic. My guest has been Ray Comfort of livingwaters.com. He was also in the Genesis Paradise Lost film. He's the author of over 90 books. He has a YouTube channel with over 71 million views and is using his life, dedicated his life to using it for the purpose of evangelism, sharing the gospel. And this film does a fantastic job doing that. Let me encourage you to download the film today. Watch it with your family, watch it with your small group, take it to your church. Get this film out there around the country, and let's see the work, the ripple effect that this has in eternity. Ray, thanks so much for joining me. I sure appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric.
God bless.
It's a woman's right to choose.
It's a woman's choice.
The woman has the right to choose.
So you think it's a woman's right to choose?
Yes, it is.
You think it's a woman's right to choose?
Absolutely, yes. Well, I'm pro-choice. I believe you should have the right to get an abortion.
Women have the entire choice to choose what they want, and no one should dictate that.
So I want to give you knowledge that's going to change your mind about everything you believe. Have you changed your mind about abortion today?
I mean, yes, I did,
So it did change my perspective on abortion.
Are you beginning to change your mind about this issue of abortion?
I guess you can say yes because, you had good reasons.
Have you just changed your mind about aborting the child?
Yes.
Well, I just want to say thank you for opening my eyes. It's like it actually touched my heart.
Going to vote pro-life?
Yes.
You've changed your mind?
Yes.
Have you changed your mind about abortion?
Of course.
Are you going to vote pro-life?
Yes. Yes.
So you've changed your mind about abortion?
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I have.
So you're going to vote differently now?
Yeah, I will.
You just changed your mind about abortion?
I changed my mind.
So you're going to vote differently when it comes to abortion?
Yes.
You're going to vote pro-life?
Yes.
Could you take the life of that baby?
I could never. You had good reasons.